I was cleaning out my car when the mechanic asked, "Why is there a tracking device under your seat?" I found the device while vacuuming crumbs from under the passenger seat. Small black box with a blinking green light. Magnetic base stuck to the metal frame. The mechanic was waiting for me to approve the brake job quote when he leaned in and pointed. "Why is there a tracking device under your seat?" I stared at it. My first thought was Leah. She'd been different these past 2 months, asking more questions than usual about where I'd been, who I'd seen. I'd catch her checking my phone when she thought I wasn't looking. When I confronted her about it, she got defensive, said I was imagining things. But I wasn't imagining this. I told the mechanic to go ahead with the brakes, and drove home with the device in my pocket. The whole way back, I replayed the last few months. Her sudden interest in my schedule, the way she'd gotten upset when I mentioned running into Stephanie at the grocery store. Stephanie, my ex, from years ago, who Leah had always been weird about, even though I'd been clear that was ancient history. Leah was in the kitchen when I got home. I dropped the device on the counter between us, and demanded to know what it was. She looked at it, then at me, asking where I'd found it. I told her it was in my car, under the seat, and asked how long she'd been tracking me. I didn't put that there. I didn't want to hear denials. I grabbed the device, and told her not to lie to me, that she'd been paranoid for weeks, checking my phone, interrogating me about where I'd been. I thought maybe she was just insecure, but this was insane. I swear to you, I didn't. I asked her then who did, because someone had been tracking my movements, and she was the only person who'd been acting suspicious. She pressed her palms against the counter, and admitted she'd told Tristan she was worried about Stephanie, that Stephanie had been. I cut her off, asking if she'd really gotten my brother in on this too. Leah pulled out her phone, hands fumbling, trying to explain that Stephanie had been sending her messages, threats. She said Stephanie had shown up at her work 3 weeks ago and told her Stephanie wouldn't do that. Leah insisted that Stephanie had said she wanted me back, that Leah had stolen me from her and she was going to make her pay. Leah said she tried to tell me, but I dismissed it, said she was being dramatic, that I'd claimed Stephanie was just being friendly when I ran into her. I dismissed it. When Leah mentioned Stephanie being at her work, I told her it was probably a coincidence. When she said the social media messages felt threatening, I'd said she was reading too much into casual comments. I'd been so sure Leah was being paranoid and possessive that I'd stopped listening. I told her to show me the messages. She handed me her phone. I scrolled through them. They'd started friendly enough, but they got darker. "You don't deserve him. He'll remember what we had. You should watch your back." The last one was from yesterday. "Enjoy him while you can." I asked why she hadn't shown me these before. "I tried. You said I was being jealous." I pulled out my own phone and called Tristan. He picked up on the second ring and I asked him point blank if he'd put a tracking device in my car. Silence. Then Tristan told me that Leah had mentioned the threats, that she'd been scared and I wasn't taking it seriously. He said he'd thought if something happened, at least we'd know where I was. I started to say he had no right, but he talked over me. Tristan said someone needed to do something, that Stephanie had been sitting outside our house and he'd seen her, that Leah had been terrified while I'd been acting like she was crazy. I looked at Leah. She was crying now. I asked if Stephanie had really been outside our house. Tristan exhaled and said at least 3 times that he knew of, just parked across the street, watching. He'd taken photos and was going to file a police report, but Leah had asked him to wait because she didn't want to upset me. She didn't want to upset me because I'd already made it clear I thought she was overreacting. I ended the call. The tracking device sat on the counter between us, this tiny piece of metal that proved everything I'd been wrong about. Leah had been scared. She'd been protecting herself from someone I'd refused to believe was dangerous, and instead of helping her, I'd accused her of being controlling. "I'm sorry. I should have believed you." Leah wiped her eyes. "The device wasn't about tracking you. Tristan said if Stephanie tried something, at least we'd know where you were. We could call the police, give them your location. I was trying to keep you safe." I'd spent 2 months resenting my wife for being paranoid when she'd actually been right all along.